Section 07 of Uncle Josh's Punkin Center Stories by Cal Stewart. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Philip Martin. Uncle Josh and the Fire Department.
One day in New York, I thought I'd write a letter home. Well, after I got it all writ, I said to the landlord of the tavern, "Now whereabouts in New York do you keep the post office?" And he said, "What do you want with the post office?" So I told him I'd just writ a letter home to Mother and Samantha Ann, and I'd like to go to the post office and mail it. And he told me, "You don't have to go to the post office. Do you see that little box on the post there on the corner?" I allowed as how I did. "Well," he says, "you just go out there and put your letter in that box, and it will go right to the post office." I said, "Well, now, gee whiz, ain't that handy?" Well, I went out there and I had a good deal of trouble in getting the box open. And when I did get it open, there weren't any place to put my letter. There was a lot of notes and hooks and hinges and a lot of reading. It said, "Pull on the hook twice and turn the knob," or something like that. I couldn't just rightly make it out. Well, I yanked on that hook till I thought I'd pull it out by the roots, but I couldn't get the darn thing open. Then I turned on the knob 2 or 3 times, and that didn't do any good, so I pulled on the hook and turned on the knob at the same time. And just then I think all the fire bells in New York commenced a-ringing all to once. Well, I looked around to see where the fire was, and a lot of the fire engines and hook and ladder wagons come a-galloping up to where I stood. And they had a big sody water bottle on wheels, and it busted and squirted sody water all over me. Well, one of them fire fellers, looking just like I'd seen them in pictures in Ezra Hoskins' insurance papers, he come up to me madder'n a hornet, and he said, "What are you trying to do with that box?" So I told him I'd just read a letter home, and I was a-trying to mail it. He said, "Why, you darn old greenhorn, you've called out the whole fire department of New York City. Well, I guess you could have knocked me down with a feather." I said, "Well, you're a pretty healthy-looking lot of fellers. It won't hurt you any to go back, will it?" Well, he said, "There's your letter box over on the other corner. Now you let this box alone." Well, they all drove away, and I went over to the other box, but I didn't know whether to touch it or not. I didn't know but maybe I'd call out the state legislator if I opened it. Well, while I was a-standing there, a feller come along and looked all around, and when he thought they weren't anybody watching him, he opened that box and commenced taking the letters out. Well, I'd heard a whole lot about them post office robbers when I was postmaster down home in Punkin Center, so I just arrested him right there. I took him by the nape of the neck and flopped him right down on the sidewalk and sot on him. I hollered, "Murder! Police!" and every other thing I could think of, and a lot of constables and town marshals come a-running up, and one of them said, "What are you holding this man for?" And I told him I'd caught him right in the act of robbing the United States Post Office, and by gosh, I arrested him. Well, they all commenced a-laughing, and I found out I'd arrested one of the postmasters of New York City. I lost Mother's letter, and she never did get it.
End of Uncle Josh and the Fire Department.